Hello, I'm Diana Cole and I'm going to be talking to you about inference with parameter redundant models. Suppose you have a non-identifiable model that you still want to use. What can you do? I'm going to talk to you very briefly about reparameterisation, constraints, robust design, integrated models and priors. Firstly, do not ignore the non-identifiability. That's because parameter estimates can be biased, because there's a flat ridge in the likelihood surface, so there are multiple maximum likelihood estimates, but numerical methods will only converge to one of these. Also, standard errors are undefined, that's not always picked up with numerical methods, and model selection methods make the assumption the model is identifiable. For example, the penalty for the AIC will be wrong in a non-identifiable model. So what can we do? We could consider reparameterisation and constraints. So for example, the time-dependent Cormack-Jolly-Sieber model, the last survival and recapture probabilities are confounded. We could then reparameterize them as a product of those two parameters, or you could use a constraint that separates that out, for example, setting pt equal to 1. However, note that the confounded parameter is also dependent on that constraint and would change, for example, if you change p equal to 0.5. When it's not obvious, a reparameterization could be found using a symbolic method or a hybrid symbolic numerical method combined with subset profiling. Alternatively, we could think about the design of the experiments, so we could collect more data of a different type and have an integrated population model, but note that IPMs may still be non-identifiable. Or we could think about a robust design where we collect multiple samples within a short space of time. For example, adding a robust design to a removal model allows us to estimate temporary migration where you couldn't before. And finally, I just wanted to mention from a Bayesian perspective, so it's generally said that non-identifiability can be fixed with a by adding an informative prior, but this should be used with caution as the prior will affect all confounded parameters and this is only recommended if there is reliable prior information. So the occupancy example on this slide just shows two graphs, one with uninformative priors and one with one parameter that has an informative prior, but we know that the other parameter is affected. So this could affect our conclusion and results. So in general, knowledge about identifiability is important, and this is definitely a case in a Bayesian context too. If you want to know more about parameter redundancy, I've got a book that's recently been released. Thank you very much for listening.